Bright Duty. Every student matters.
Hello students. In this video, I'll take up the next part of the chapter Improvement in Food Resources. In my previous video, I told you how we can improve the quality and the quantity of food which we obtain from agriculture. Now in this video, I'll tell you about the food which we obtain from animal sources, how we can improve the quality and the quantity of the food which we obtain from animals. Alright, so the whole process of scientifically taking care of animals and rearing them to produce food from them and food and as well as other things like labor or leather, that whole process is called animal husbandry. So let's begin. Animal husbandry, the scientific management of livestock. It is a science of rearing, feeding, breeding and disease control and utilization of animals. The animals include cattle, goat, sheep, poultry and fish farming as well as beekeeping to obtain honey. So we'll discuss about all these animals and what kind of food we obtain from them and how we can improve the quality and quantity of food. So first question arises, what is the need for animal husbandry? As I told you in my previous video that since the population of India is huge and it is still growing, so we need more food to meet the requirement of this growing population. And secondly, we also need to give a humane treatment to the animals. Alright. So for proper management and systemic approach to animal rearing, we need to actually study the animal husbandry in a scientific manner. So first topic is cattle farming. Now it is done for two purposes. First is milk and second is drought labor. For agriculture work like irrigation or tilling of land, we need this cattle. There are two different species of cattle that are reared in India. First is Bos indicus, that is the cow, common name, and Bos bubalis, that is the buffaloes. These are the scientific names. Okay, look at this dairy farm. Now, cattle can be divided into two categories depending upon this. First is the milch animals, that is milk producing females. They are the dairy animals and the milk production depends upon the lactation period. So the lactation period is the period during which the milk is produced after the birth of the calf. And second type of animals are drought animals which are used to work in the farms. We utilize their labor for irrigation or for tilling and even to carry the loads. So, okay, this is a typical drought animal. Now, milk production, this can be increased by increasing the lactation period. If we lengthen the lactation period, more will be produced. Now, the exotic or the foreign breeds, they are selected for long lactation period. They have this desirable quality that the lactation period is longer. For example, the Jersey cow or the brown Swiss cow. On the other hand, our local or indigenous breed, they show excellent resistance to diseases. Alright. So this is another desirable characteristic. Examples are Red Sindhi and Sahiwal. These are our indigenous or local breeds. Now, if we need both these characteristics, what we can do is we can do cross breeding of these two breeds. So cross breeding to get animals with both the desirable characteristics. So one male, one female, we can do cross breeding and get the new individual born will have both the desirable characteristics. This is our local Sindhi cow and look at this cross breeding. This is a crossbred cow. Next topic arises, what are the farm management practices for cattle? How we need to manage the farm or the shelter. Now, it is essential for the humane farming that better health of the animal and production of clean milk. This farm management is important. So, what can be done? Firstly, proper cleaning and shelter facilities are required for cattle. Second, regular brushing should be done to remove dirt and loose hair from their body. And third, the cattle should be sheltered in well ventilated roofed shed in order to protect them from rain, cold, heat. And lastly, floor of the cattle shed should be sloping to keep it dry and to facilitate cleaning. So if it is sloping, the water will not stagnate there. It will be easy to clean it. Even the rainwater will not get stagnated there. So mainly it should be ventilated, it should be clean, even the animal body, it should be clean, they should be given bath at a regular intervals. So this kind of farm practices keep the cattle healthy, as well as it leads to production of better quality of the products which we obtain from them. Now, the cattle, while taking care of them, apart from their taking care of their shelter, we also need to feed them. So the feed requirements are of two types. First is for maintenance, that is to support the animals to lead a healthy life, and second is for during production of milk, that is during the lactation period the feed requirement is different. So there are two kinds of feed requirement. Accordingly, different animal feeds are firstly roughage, that is the fibrous food. It contains, although it is low in nutrients like green fodder, hay and legumes, but it is important for the sustenance of their life. Second type of feed is concentrates. They are low in fiber, but they contain higher levels of proteins and other nutrients. For example, gram and bajra. So especially during the lactation period, these concentrates are to be fed to the cattle. Apart from this, there are some special feed additives which contain micronutrients. They promote the health and milk output of the dairy animals. So especially during the lactation period, the additives are added to their food so that the quality and the quantity of milk is better. Now, cattle should be given balanced ration of all the nutrients in proportionate amount, so that they are healthy and the milk they produce, that is also good in quality and quantity. The next point is diseases in cattle. We also need to prevent diseases, so that if the cattle are healthy, the products will be healthy and their money won't be lost. So what kind of diseases affect the cattle? First is the external parasites. They live on the skin and cause skin diseases like lice or mites. They live outside the skin, that is why they are called external parasites. Second is internal parasite, which live inside the body of the cattle. This includes worms and flukes, which affect the stomach as well as intestine. Apart from these parasites, there are pathogens, the microorganisms which can cause diseases. So infectious diseases from various bacteria and viruses. Examples are foot and mouth disease, cowpox, anthrax. Some of them are deadly diseases. So to prevent them, vaccination can be given to the farm animals.